The hardest. Aegean wine. The woman and her ex-boyfriend are leaning against a wall. People are about their business, awaiting the station's train. The numbers are total fairly high capacity. Deal is give up my seed and your bestest girlfriend gets impregnated, say you. Unexpectedly he doesn't act repulsed or shocked, rather he curious. Were he expecting that from her wasn't happening this evening? She stares in the near distance steely-eyed. Guys aren't asked, much less do every day. He himself a far older gentleman nestled in his 50s, would producing still be feasible. Pastries, bet every dime I got you're not talking to your last hookup. A man of social ability is accustomed to different samples of the fair sex. Other women sense her not out the question. Darling Papillon walk with me. They begin. A wise screen should a nosy and the somewhat scarce crowd care to listen. He is well attired in an overcoat, hat and scarf tied round the neck, well groomed. Moment this encounter began anyone at distance respects the cologne. She closer still registers his pleasing breath of mint. Has aurora of an accomplished life. In or what? Abruptly asks after barely 100 paces. A deep-seated resolve weighs on her. Another man may have felt rattled. Castries saw no need for schmozzle. He shapes the conversation about family. The strong devotion the nexus between you and her, I no doubt of. My question is you have what it takes to nurture this entry into the world come with me Papillon. Humph. We've put a lot of thought into the money we'd need. The jobs pays not piss, room at home. That's. His ex cut him off. Be easy. I read you. Dorks are bound to come at us lesbians. Call us leso. We've pretty much haven't you heard sacrificed what the world thinks on an altar. Me and you can live without the marriage round our necks. Me and her can raise a child without it. Our elements in society frowning at the thought of a marriageless elope, say nothing of a same sex in the blend. She next after a pause, we picked a respectable lab. They've got a brochure you. Interrupting, I'll save my eyes. Saw these banks on TV or whatnot. Pastries just so you know no one's forcing you to raise the kid. Us not Moncheri. Offhandedly inquired about his dating. Lit any jack-o'-lanterns in a girl's life recently? Responding to his ex, points out he has nary a hint of a mademoiselle on his arm for now. Straightforward and euphemistically asks ex from her. Let's pollinate the flower again Moncheri. It's not an exchange, he wants to satisfy his loin. Next indoors on a bed it's hot and heavy. Papillon was motivated to feel a man down there only in part. She had missed him for less sexual pleasure than his affable personality, so not surprising a reconnection, even though not exclusively hetero these days. Hard in his movements, gentle thrusts be damned senses would not get this close again for a very long time, so hit all it's worth. Wasn't one-sided, giggled, her nether region felt full. Gratified each other. Are many decrying woman and sexuality put together. The encounter wasn't some cynical inducement. Rayette wants to try and clarify the relationship no matter, sitting up in bed, feet on the floor. Papillon a pet name. Naturally the two must have shared a close relationship for that name attachment. She can't go back to being his woman, she rushes to say no regret sleeping together. Interrupts another time in the same day, Rayette he starts setting aside hypochorism for injecting emphasis. Let me set you at ease, not setting you straight, only at ease will not uncover what ladies call a commitment man. That's me. Leave if you want to. Though I can't see why for that reason as you're joined by the finger to your own mademoiselle. How long for you can keep details from me if you want. Butterflies and flowers have a natural relationship. We do in our own manner. Don't fuss if the flower is not pollinated one spring. Was so before we met up again. We shared what the word special too quaint to describe. More outpouring. Forever always my noblesse uterine. That lammer will never go out. Disarmed she is. His empathy is one quality that drew her to him. She'd go on to curse herself not seeing this godsend quality earlier. Her reason initially for the acquaintance because he was decent and cool running with. Romantic charm over and above a dollop. Noblesse uterine, French nobility of the female line. She reaches to hug him. Days later Castries walks out the fertility clinic, seed implanted into the mademoiselle hinted at Georgina. Mid-30s, the woman slender and attractive, a man's eye, wouldn't fail to lap up their nubile curvilinear forms. Very feminine traits. Men are gently rebuffed by the pair far as Georgina felt anyway. This point in their lives felt a child should share theirs. Shared apartment is modernist and glass windows and architecture style. Couldn't be more happy disciplining their bundle of joy running up and down the place. Georgina later had signs of pregnancy, confirmed by the simple test. The women exult. Georgina said metaphorically she feels it growing. A time existed when she would have been pleased being his Machiri. Rayette and Castries are not intimate since and in her eyes, remain exes. Rayette has just bathroom vomited. The cause is immediately known to her and her alone. Georgina overtook on a more motherly dress style in that clothes, reflecting a mother expecting. Everyday girl archetype in maternity denim overalls and stunning and flowing maternity gowns. A looker before the growing bump. The weeks and months take turns coming, the women take steps for baby's sake. Mind what you ingest, anticipation of buying bigger clothes. Georgina proceeded to ask about her partner. A belly bump spotted by chance. Ray talks it off and life goes on. Georgina seats both on the modernist-style furniture mirroring the home and broaches the subject gently, holding her hand. Some weeks had went. Talk to me baby. You've been acting out of whack. Haven't checked your period on the calendar. In the twinkling of an eye flatly, it's his. The short Celine ended. The atmosphere is a different chemistry. When I was impregnated. Georgina instantly works out both are due to deliver the same man's child. A little before your clinic visit. She breathed in hard all she could think of to keep her imaginable rage in check. I didn't speak out because she could not quite express herself. Because you didn't trust me to work it out sensibly. She doesn't answer. Georgina, one lover wasn't enough. Along those lines yes. The hetero in me wanted a man and I knew him to be a decent one. Continues was out of the blue when he straight up asked her for coitus. He wasn't bargaining for his sperm, he wanted to satisfy his manly ways and she womanly ones. Personal desire got the better of me, us. Some anger was bound to leak out. Protection or us hadn't entered your mind when you humping. Skirt chaser. Responding to her partner defends castries. Rayette knew full well he is sexual being, but this scratches the surface. She could not think of a better man. Saying, don't call him so. Without him no child that's where it should be at. He tightened our bond with your baby. Georgina retorts he was not on trial for his contribution, but for his contribution to breaking a pact. Ray corrects no such pact is on any dotted line she gets her point anyway. I hid the tryst knowing inside I guess you're bound to find out Georgina. Pastries in the dark. Yeah. Georgina did not enter into a Mina Joe Troyes a domestic arrangement with three people sharing romantic or sexual relations with one another. Taking cue of William Moulton Marston. Uneasy pause. The relationship rests on what follows. Rayette gives up. Solemnly, je t'aime Georgina. I'll arrange an abortion. Sighing, the other woman ponders just a little while. Let's talk to him. There's room for two blessings. Her hand stroked Ray's tummy. Somehow warmer. Author's note my first idol was the maidens. Reading takes you in new directions not even 20 minutes later found Lesbian Wine, situated in Lesbos Island in the Aegean Sea. The ladies' bond opened the door for Georgina to maintain a compassion for one who by rights a betrayer. Who in heck is Moulton? 25, September 2020.